welcome to Put It All on Red. That's what I said. Put it all on red tonight. Well, I have a guest, a person close to my heart, right? He's like my brother. He's my cousin, and I'm just so excited to have you all here tonight. Now, I had offered, I said just an hour ago. I may not have gave some of you enough time, but tonight I want you to tell us what's on your mind. I'm going to be placing my phone number as we talk up on the screen, but I'm gonna go ahead and let him introduce himself before we keep going, and then we're gonna have an open mic tonight. All right, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure. Hey, folks, how you guys out there doing tonight? My name is Aaron Butler. I'm out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and I'm just here just to, help you guys put it on red. So if you have any questions, you have any topics you want to discuss, you want to explore, you want us to speak on, please just share your thoughts. Let's put it all on red. Okay, let's have a good time tonight.
Right. I think the first thing I want to say is that you are welcome, and feel free. You can either call that number that's been placed on the screen, and of course I'm going to answer. My phone's right here. If you don't call, you can always, of course, you can put your little text up there, but we want you to call in. We're waiting to hear something. And I know it's a lot. It's a lot going on. We have protests here. I'm in Dallas. We're having protests downtown. We've had it for the last 2 nights, right? The immigration protests. And then we have individuals, not just the government is losing their jobs, but a lot of other individuals are losing their job because there's a freeze upon finances. And as Aaron was saying, he don't know what's real and what's not, because some of it seem unreal, but it's real. It's real. I'm really close to the ground floor. You have to go down 75. They are marching right now. They've been marching 2 days. People are scared here. People are frightened. And it says, yeah, it's real. People are scared. People are frightened right now. And actually they're not even holding them because they don't even have a hold tank for them no more. So now they just getting them, taking them back wherever they came from. They said this morning on the news, he and the Colombian president have been banging, right? So people better stay woke. We don't got a choice right now. We got to make it, right?
Right. You know what, Bob? It's funny that you spoke on this immigration off the top with President Trump and his executive orders that he's been placing and signing and things like that, because I noticed here in Oklahoma, so I'm at Oklahoma City, I know here in Oklahoma, the Tulsa governor and the officers down there, they're not acknowledging President Trump executive order to, go after all those immigrants, through, whether at the church, the hospital, their schoolhouse, no matter where they at. Here in Oklahoma, they are practicing a little restraint and they're holding back, and they showing a little more humanity, if that makes any sense, towards those immigrants. And I applaud that for Oklahoma, Tulsa, and their governor down there.
Right. And it's funny you say that, because guess what? Fort Worth school system had a teacher call ICE on her students today.
I saw that in Fort Worth, I believe. Fort Worth ISD. I saw that.
Right. So it is sanctioned places. That's what you're talking about. It's sanctioned places. That's treatment locations, schools, right? The ISIS is not supposed to be coming in to get you from those locations. But yeah, she sure did. She called in on her own students once the executive order was placed. It's dirty.
Yeah, that was funny. I was reading a little bit of an article a little bit about that. It was saying that I believe they were saying like 60% of the students in the Fort Worth ISD district are Hispanic, kids and stuff. They saying like 33% of those kids are taking English for their second language as well and things like that. So, I mean, me personally, it's kind of a difficult situation, you know what I'm saying? Because we want to give our heart out to these young kids that are not, American citizens that are born over here and things like that. But we also want to keep our own in mind, if that makes any sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Just a real sensitive, issue going on right now in
It
America.
is. It is. Well, and you know what? What I keep on going to, because if you throw a rock in the middle of a lake, what happens?
You get ripple effects, of course.
So it comes right back, right? So
Right.
it's like if it's not them, it comes back. It's gonna come back on all. All of us really are gonna feel it, and it is. Actually at work today, during my job, my daytime job, actually, I've never seen people exchange scriptures until today. That's real talk. I ain't never seen. Hey, hey, we got an old mother, old school. She handed them out. Hey, she handed them out. And guess what? They taking them because people are really that stressed right now. They don't know, because like we kind of on it's really kind of tough here because we do have a governor that's going in. He's been going in, and he's been going in on them for probably what is this, 8 years? So this is the ninth year that is final, just all the way cut.
Right.
And so it's tough for all of us because, like you said, our population, those are our brown sisters and brothers, so we're right here with them.
Right. I was reading the other day that they talked about one of the border patrol officers that got killed. Got shot and killed, and they were saying that was the first one in, like, over a decade or something like that. So
Yeah,
with these new orders, new dangers are, what I'm saying, are coming upon us. They are
right,
coming to the horizon. We are
right.
being faced with new dangers and things like that. So it's definitely a time to pray, keep our prayers open, and just kind of stay focused. It goes back to our old African proverbs, when it takes a village to raise, one. Those things are still existing to this day. It still
Mhm.
takes a nation, a village, what I'm saying, to raise one and stuff right there. So whether they're brown, dark skinned brown, light skinned brown, middle brown, whether they're white, doesn't make me a difference. We all human beings, so we all deserve love,
Yeah,
so in
yeah.
humanity.
Yeah, you're right. And humanity is it. Because this, when I was watching it, even I got a video I posted, I'm like, how do you explain this to God? I don't even know how you explain that. I really don't. I don't know what you're saying. What you gave it to us free, and then we took it and said it was ours. Now we said we don't even like them. How do we explain that? I mean, really, how do you even explain that? And then you take the children are involved. That's what it even makes it even harder. They said it's over 100,000 of their kids are already missing by ISIS. That's
Well, that's
tough.
what hurts. That's what hurts right there, is the kids. It's the kids.
500,000 children, over 500,000. That's a lot of kids that you
Right.
just you just up and disappeared.
And more, more about Trump's executive orders. He's just not attacking the brown. He's attacking the blacks. The American citizens right here in America. And we're not immigrants. I mean, from history, different aspects of history. I mean, we can look at the military, for example. You know what I'm saying? The Air Force, the Tuskegee firemen. You know what I'm saying? Firefighter. Flight fighters and stuff.
Hmm.
So he don't want them to teach history. You know what I'm saying? About those black gentlemen and stuff right there. He don't want them to teach history about the women. In their Air Force and stuff. So we're all being attacked by these new orders,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
whether you're foreign or civilian, right here in America. Yeah.
It's gonna be like I said, it's a ripple, the ripple in the water. I can't believe don't nobody wanna come in. Where's everybody at tonight? Everybody's maybe you're scared, but I know you have something. You can't, you can't watch something and say, well, I have nothing. I mean, that's just not realistic. You just can't. I can't.
What is they saying?
Oh, they said he already showed us before. That's right. He did.
Right.
He showed us. He did. And this time he just took it real fast. Almost like he was playing cards.
Yeah, well, Trump will give us more Trump this time. He got elected again, so he feel like his thoughts was right in the beginning. So he's gonna go even harder this go round. And I was reading the other day that he got a special committee looking into him possibly running for office again after this particular term is up.
Oh yeah.
So he can be like possibly get 12. 12 years in the office. So I
Oh,
mean, he's trying and developing special committees to try to do things that we've never seen before. So it's about to
right,
be really
right.
interesting.
And undo things that have been done in 60 years. He's undoing all those laws are,
Right.
up on the what actually have been butchered.
Hey, in
It's
fact,
some
what do you think about that? Do you think that the new administration, whenever they do come in, do you think they would go back and bring all those and sign those bills back into law or into order or
yeah. Well, hey, Tonette. And I see my
hey Ashley Cherie?
I know, I see it. She said they thought he was gonna give them another stimulus check. And you know what? To be honest, I heard that today. You know, because there's a lot of cuts, and we're talking about school lunches. We're talking about Section 8. We're talking about all kind of programs, school programs. As a fact, I seen somebody say that their nieces go to FISD, but the truth is, it's going to affect them because the government does give them money, and they're freezing it. So that's true. And the line is open. Whatever y'all want to talk about, we can put it on out here. We can at least we can talk about it and get a voice in it. Because I think that it helps when you do talk about it. Because like Aaron was saying, there's so much going on. Nobody a everybody's expressing it and feeling it a different way. Like our receptionist, she was like, I'm scared because she's Hispanic.
Right, right. And rightfully so.
And she has children, so she's like, I'm scared. And I don't know where to take my kids to. That's horrific. That's terrifying. I don't know what, I don't know what to do. Like if I see them at the store, because here in Dallas, they at the grocery store, they catching them everywhere.
Right, 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 right.
And like I said, they're down they're rioting, well, not rioting, but they're having a protest, I'll say, because there is very good, it's very nice, it's not, but they're protesting. But all of them are all people that are citizens, and they're protesting on the behalf of their families. So they're not even protesting. The people that are illegal ain't even taking the chance of going downtown.
Right. Ashley just made a good point. She was
Mhm.
saying how the jobs are able to discriminate now, a lot more easier. She was saying they have before, but now they can do it a lot more easier with the signings of Trump's,
There's no more discrimination.
right, 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 right.
It's no more discrimination at this point. So now that's over.
And how crazy is that? How insane is that?
Right. Because we
How,
know the whole idea, if you say, well, you know what, I thought this country was farther than that, Roberta, I got buddies, blah, blah, blah. But the truth is, it wouldn't have been tampered with if this country was that far. You see what I'm saying? It
right,
wouldn't have
right.
been a problem, especially on the first day. It would not have been a problem. Would not. And I have some individuals who are close friends of mine, but they work for the government as well, and they are Republican. And guess what? Their jobs are gonna be cut too. They ain't gonna get paid either because it say now everybody on a standby.
Yeah,
Especially after this quarter. So our quarterly is next month. That's everybody. That's it. And it says now my opinion, I can see what he's trying to do is make jobs for the American people in the same time he's moving swiftly and traumatizing, especially for the kids. Well, as the adults, yeah, yeah. Well, I don't know if it's for the American people. I mean, it sounds good, but the truth is, some jobs, let's just say it, some jobs we're not going to do. And Americans are not going to do it. I've been a supervisor before. And let me tell you, Americans, I don't care what race we are, we are not, we're not equipped to do the jobs that some other races do. And I'm talking about my Hispanic. Okay? So what we do, my white employees, they'll say, well, Miss Bill, I didn't think I was supposed to do this. That's their way of saying I'm not available. My black employees, they'll tell me, no, I'm not going to do it. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, it can't be for us to go to work. So we're not going, Americans ain't, we're not, we are not like that. And that's all the way across the board. Some of the jobs is just not for us. And we're not going to do them.
wait. Now, when you say some of the jobs are not for us, can you give me an example? It's for some of those folks who's kind of feel like I'm feeling right now. Like, can you give us some examples of what jobs are not for us?
Okay, like say a roof. I'm not gonna go and put up no roof in no day for you. I'm not gonna do it. I might, and guess what? Some of my brothers, and sisters, and I'm talking about white and black, they ain't even gonna show up to do it. You see what I'm saying? I'm just telling the truth. I'm not lying. I'm telling you what I know as a supervisor. Americans, we just not gonna do minimal jobs. We just don't. And as a matter of fact, we have these children coming up now, and they're not children. So excuse me to say that if you are listening to me, you're a young adult. We have these young adults. I'm gonna get it right. We have these young adults now. They won't even go to work for the salary I make. Okay? Because they don't want, they won't, they'll tell you what they want. And or they won't go. That's how our workforce is.
I have to be honest and agree with you somewhat, but not all the way. Now, I do believe that certain pay grades, some people are just not attracted to $7, $8 an hour, that minimum wage.
Right.
However, I think when like I sell roofs jobs, right? And it's funny you said that because all the crews that does the roofs that I sell are Hispanic.
Yeah.
They're always Hispanic, you know what I'm saying? 5, 6 Hispanic guys come early that morning, they knock out their roof. They be done, that day. 5 taught to do the roofs at a young age to make extra money, like in the summertime and whatnot. They might grow up to become young roofers.
Right. Right.
I just don't think we just against certain jobs. I think we're not educated or enculturated doing certain jobs, so we just don't do those. We don't find them interesting.
Right. Right.
But it's
Well,
all about the enculturation of us, society, of us, of a people and whatnot.
right. That, and also I'm not gonna take all my out. Okay, we family. If I say, hey, let's go do this roof with four more of our family members, how many of us is going?
Probably the one you plotted it with. It's just you and that person.
That's it. So I'm gonna be forced out there by myself. I mean, I'm just saying that's this American way. That's how we are. That's how really we think. We are very privileged workforce, and I mean, because I was in home health, and my employees, the only thing they would do the training. They get paid and then they quit. Or they have all these reasons why they couldn't come. And that was out. And I mean, that wasn't even no color. It was just Americans, right? Versus I had some Hispanic. And also I used to manage daycare. I had some Hispanics. I had some older black women. Those two groups were the only two I can actually say, yes, they're going to do it for me. The other groups, you better believe they'd be like, no, no, I'm not, I wasn't on it. I didn't get your call. You know, we just like that. I mean, I'm just saying. And now America is I'm just saying that's what they said. We are living a different time. We are, and we have gotten away. We really, like I said, minimal things just don't, like you say, they don't, we don't even process. Hey, I want to do this. Uh, and says when I started going to different countries, I noticed. Yes, it's the truth. They go, and I mean, you know, I heard earlier before I came on tonight. I was listening to somebody else's podcast, and they were saying during COVID, some similar stuff happened because people had their businesses shut down, but they had to create commerce, right? So they got creative. Black people started getting creative. So this might be a benefit because we may be crutched by some of these things that he's outlawed, right? Or he's ended. So we might be crutched by them, some of these social programs. Partially, like you say, it's true. We may be. And we may have to find, because we will find other means. But it wasn't as extreme as a place to stay. It says this new generation, some of them were not trying to do any cleaning, roofing, plumbing, etc. They will look at you and say, "I'm not doing," and they do. They really do. You know, because I mean, that's just what it is, and that's any of them. That's not even with a race with it. That's
I also agree. However, I think I agree when they get to a certain age. I think as young kids, all young kids are curious and they hold that enthusiasm or they want to just do this, do this. They want to emulate their mother, they want to emulate their father, their big brother, their big sister. So I think in the beginning, at the early ages, I think kids are willing to do any and everything, willing to learn and do any and everything. But I do think when they hit a certain age, it may be like 12, 13, 14. They say we change our morals about every 7 years. I think I learned when I went to school, like seven, 0 to 7, you know what I'm saying? 7 and 14. So I think around that 11, 12, 13, 14 age, I think a lot of kids just don't want to try certain things. They don't want to learn certain things. But I think when they, 10 and under, 11 and under, those kids are willing to do anything their father, their grandfather, their mother, and their big siblings will allow them to do. I really do think that and stuff. But I
yeah,
think us, as a lot of our parents, myself, because I think times have just changed with these computers, and you know what I'm saying? We've all gotten lazy to a certain extent, and I think it's sad that our kids as a society have taken the biggest hit with that.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, I really do. And that's something we all have to take responsibility of and stuff. But I think I'm lazy than what I used to be when I was a kid. I think the kids, if they are sure enough more lazy than I was when I was a kid.
oh yeah. Cause kids, you remember? I know when I was a kid. I know it's just gonna sound like, oh my god, but you know, we used to walk miles to go to school. We didn't
Yes,
mind walking.
yes.
That wasn't that does. We put on our coat, walk. Kids don't do that no more. They got to get dropped off right there at school.
They got teen Uber today. You know what
Right,
I'm saying? For the young kid, they ain't walking anywhere. They
right.
calling
They ain't
Uber.
finna do none of that. Mind you, things are more dangerous too. So our society has changed.
Respect, respect.
Yeah, we society has changed, but
So let me ask you that question. It's interesting you said that. You said how kids are a lot lazier, which I think they are because we used to walk miles and miles on top of miles with no problem. And with joy. We used to walk with joy and be happy and sing up songs and make up stuff and play games, right? And now today, the kids want to call the Uber team, Teen Uber to come pick them up,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So, with all that being said, do you think that's part of why and the dangers that exist? Do you think the dangers help make everybody lazy because you got to be more safe? You got to be more, protective.
No, I
You
don't.
don't. You don't think that's a part of making
No,
everything lazy? It's part of
no.
being
I just
safety.
say we got more. Once we start getting more things, and we start getting more automobiles, access to more finances, things, and we start coming out of the rural into the city, we begin to just say, you know what, I don't have to do that. And our
Okay.
kids begin, and then some people who didn't have things, they gave the kids a whole lot. We just overall, like I said, this don't even have this ain't even cultural. This is because I hired all kind of people. And like I said, I only had two groups that I was successful with as far as attendance and knowing that they're going to follow through. Everybody else would either tell me what they wasn't going to do or what they're going to do. Every American, I would say. So I'm just saying, when you say, well, he said this is the job, I'm getting jobs. We can't even get people to go to work in Sonic. You could drive up to a Sonic here, the Sonic could be locked up because enough employees didn't come. That was prior to this. People do not want, so they sure don't want to do the other jobs that he said he for the free up for us. That's that they go. They don't even want to go fix a drink at Sonic.
So that's why they got the Sonic drive-through now, huh? Because people didn't want to come to work.
Hey, but even with that, they didn't even make it to even go through the drive to do the drive window. I mean, really, it's been this. I've seen restaurants just close down, and you say, "What happened?" Or they'll say, "Not enough employees today."
Yeah, no. Trust me, when I was in the GM of a dealership, when I was trying to hire people, it's hard to hire good, solid workers, people
Uh-huh.
that care,
Hello.
people that want to be there, people that's self-motivated. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. All right. All right. Hold on. I got someone who wants to be live. Go ahead. You are. We can hear you.
Hello?
All right. We can hear you.
Oh, okay. Hello. Hello. My name is Tony from Dallas. I work with Head Start Greater Dallas. I agree to disagree. This is a new generation. Society has made our children more lazier. It's a good thing and a bad thing. And I say that because I have a grandson that's 7 years old. He don't want to go outside. He want to be in the video games 24/7. But by him being in the video games and watching YouTubes, now he has his own YouTube channel. He loves Sonic. He's always making different videos and movies, and he's already up to 500 views. And with that, I see him like that's his passion career. And I tell my daughter, I said, that's his passion. Start putting him in different programs towards that. But at the same time, I still want her to put him in other different sports and activities so he can kind of know what he like and don't like. But this new generation is going towards that. And I was talking to a coworker not too long ago, like, I'm changing my career path where I'm back in school doing cybersecurity because technology is changing and we have to change with it or we don't get left behind. Because some of the old ways of doing things is not going to work for us.
That's right.
And that's what I just want to chime in and say.
All right. Well, thank
That's
you,
good.
Tony.
Yes.
All right.
Appreciate that.
Yep, that was good. Thank you.
Yes. She's absolutely correct.
Right. So yeah, I mean, and I think we had that discussion too. That either we get with it, because he's a creator, a content creator, and and I was fiddling with it before he did, but he really did well on another platform, and I was like, we got to get with it because this is a change. This is where we're going. So that's true. We're going to more technology, but like I said, the other thing is, so I'm just saying no. I just think we get sold something, and our media sells us stuff, which we've talked about, because the media sells us all kind of stuff. Okay, with the immigrants, all of them are bad. That's not true. That's not. That's like saying all of us are bad. That's called propaganda. When you say all of them are doing this and this too, no, we all as humans have we have somewhat of an ability to do bad, to be honest with you. So it's not
Right.
one group of people. That's just a human error that we all have. But that's how it was sold to us. And then, like I said, so now 500 of the children are missing. I mean, 500,000. Let me get it right, because it's a difference. 500,000 children of their children, Hispanic children, are missing. So now that's what we got. Where are their kids at? Why would we even do this to children? I don't even know. Like I said, I'm just really thinking like, okay, we say we're a Christian environment. We say we believe in God, and certainly we didn't create ourselves, and we didn't create any groups of people. So to me, it's scary because I'm like, it's got to be a repercussion from something higher. You know what I'm saying? It's just scary to me because I'm like, you do people like this, ain't no telling what's going to happen, as in the repercussion part of it. What do you think, Aaron?
No, no, I think that to speak on you and that last caller, because y'all both made some really, 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 really interesting, good points and stuff. And just to elaborate more on what she was saying about her grandson, how he's just stay on his little game, you know what I'm saying, and get more and more views and things like that, and how it's a good thing and a bad thing. It is, because I'm gonna tell you, we always tell some of our kids, go outside. Y'all never want to go outside and play. When we was kids, we was always outside. You know what I'm saying? But
Right,
today, these young kids that be on these games, on these social media platforms, and they'll build a big following, and they'll start getting a check.
right,
I mean, for real, they'll start getting a check in the mail. They're
right,
not interested in doing anything else except playing a game. And us, the parents, is not, we're not liking that. Like, we want you to get up and go outside and play like we did. You know what I'm saying? Go
right,
play tag, go play chess, go play a sport or whatnot, right? But they're stuck on these video games, and they're making a way to make money off of that. More
right,
money than what we making as a parent.
right.
For
Yeah.
real though,
So they
these
win.
are the challenging times that we're facing now. It's like, this is crazy.
Right, right, right.
They got these podcasts now. I mean, podcast is, it's a new hustle now. You
Right,
know, people don't got to go outside to make money anymore. They can be right there in the privacy of their home, the
right,
comfort of their home, having a million people viewing their podcast, you know what I'm saying, calling in, answering questions and things like that,
right,
but these kids are doing it first.
right, right, right.
I mean, so it is interesting. We think, are you lazy, or are you really a new type of coming up with a new type of avenue?
Right,
Because one thing that I learned when I was in school, when it comes to teaching young kids, is that we cannot stop their creativity. So we have to let them just do, what I'm saying, do whatever they want to do.
yeah,
Help them explore whatever they want to do, right? Because that's how they explore and tap into their creativity. And these kids today, they're making ways to make money that we never thought of through
right,
social media, through
right,
not going outside, through what we call being lazy.
right. Yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah. And what is going to be, the interesting thing is what is that going to do? Because I mean, some of right now with suicide is at a high. I think it's because our children are not are missing some of that critical thinking processes because of being short wired. Right. And it says, can our kids be surpassing us because they believe in their dreams and wisdom of their early age because even realize and without even realizing it? Well, possibly they could be because it said children will be wiser. But the issue with that again, how can they relate to other people? How can they, or how can they relate to life changes, right? Because now children, or I'm, like I said, excuse me, young adults. Now young adults cannot, they can't handle changes of life. They just can't. They're more prone to suicide. Actually, more children under the age of 18 are committing suicide because they're so short wired. Like for us, when we were going outside and playing with the other children in the neighborhood, we were critical thinking. When we get into fights with them, they get into a fight with us. That's critical thinking. When we try to figure out what pizza we want to order because we all put in $3, that's critical thinking. But now with just the computer programming, although they're good at it, they missing that critical thinking process. And that's really something you need so that you can, because things happen in life, whether you own a computer or not. Things happen, whether you make money or not. Things still happen. You still gonna have some sickness, some deaths, some things. People who are close to you. Things happen. Tragedies happen. Trauma happens. So they're shortened with that one skill. It says, my parents never called me young adult. I should have to them to put some respect. That's right. Because I mean that's what they are. They adults. And as I mature, because I have, young adults in my workplace. So I have to respect them. And that's another thing, is us gradually getting older, we should respect our younger people and try to figure out, because we need them just like they need us. Just like Aaron was saying, uh, and like the caller said, we're learning off of them. That's courage, because some of us don't even have that courage to live our dreams. Some of
Right.
us don't even have that courage to do what we have inside. So they're living it early. Like she said, he's drawing, he's, doing his thing on the internet. He's loving it. But some of us don't, some of us adults don't even have that courage. So yeah.
All right, let me ask you this, Bob. Earlier, you was mentioning about how
And wait a minute. Let me tell you. Everybody don't know me by Bob.
I'm sorry. I can't say Roberta that good though, because my tongue don't be moving around like that. It's kind of stiff. So
Okay.
Bob is just much easier for me to pronounce.
Okay.
And I'm sure everyone who has speech impediments, who tongue be twisting up and tying up on them sometimes, they understand that. We got to be conscious and choose the words that flows the most easiest out our mouth and stuff, so we can just go with the convo.
Okay.
And I learned that. I try to pass that to the kids. You
Right.
got to be a thesaurus. You got to learn. You got to just pick your word that mean the same. So,
Okay. All right.
but, but right, you kind of, made me skip a couple of places. I forget where I was at.
You said you had a question. I
Oh
apologize.
yeah, okay, yeah. So you was mentioning something of how our kids today, which is true, a lot of them don't know how to, socialize because they in a house so much. They on computers so much. You know what I'm saying? Do you think kids today are less racist than it was when we was kids and
Oh,
dealing with kids when we was younger? Or you think the racists with our younger kids have increased and intensified over the decades?
absolutely not. These children don't care. Children don't care. That's gonna be some of what they're gonna get ready to fight with. If that's what the next game is, coming like it was before, that was a lot of the situation. uh Younger people, they don't care about race. That's why they're trying to what is it called when you redo something? They're trying to bring it back. But young people don't care. They really don't. They are not, yeah, they're not near in that way about anybody.
Okay, yeah, I was just curious 'cause I noticed a lot of these younger kids are a lot of them use the word the N word.
Yeah, yeah. Well, because that's a now you got to think that's a form of endearment
Right,
for them. Because we do it. Most a lot of blacks do. A lot of all the races do. Hey B, what doing? They say the B word like that. Hey B, you my B, you my bear, right? The same way with that. You my ninja, you my. It's almost like a endurance still for them. Almost like, hey, I'm right there with you. So it's not like when we were younger and we heard it. And so, to be honest, I even have to give them that respect there because I'll tell you a situation. When I went home for my birthday, it was a guy, like a white young man and a black young man. They was riding together, and that's all he was saying. In this, in that, while we were eating and having a drink. And I was like, and of course, the ladies with me, we all from the same era. So they like, what's going on? Blah, 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 blah. What's going on? And, why does he keep saying that? And I was like, this guy rolling with him ain't getting mad because it's not used in the same form. You see what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
It's
your guest just made an interesting point. She said that they said to be cool, they don't tie it to race. She said they don't tie it to race. So that make a lot of sense. They all said they just don't look at it as, I guess, as part of race.
yeah, that's right. They don't. They just like, you my like that song, you my end, right? That's how they look at it. And they cause they can be rolling with each other. But what they're trying to do is replace, kind of like reset that time in our history here. You
Right.
see what I mean? But I don't think it's gonna work because younger people don't even that's not what they tripping off of. That's not their
Right. 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 Right.
they
Right.
really are not. I have not.
Right.
Because that's got to be learned and it's got to be constantly learned. So that's got to be something going on in their household. So some of them have been constantly, but it just depends on where you're from. Like I
Right.
know Kentucky, they had the little place where they was training because that's where the Ku Klux Klan started at. So they still training their kids, right?
Right. Right.
But
Right.
other places, that's not really what those words are more like endearment. Like I said, my
Yeah,
end,
it's like slang now. Like
yeah,
Ashley said, she said it's like slang now, just pretty
yeah,
much everybody use it. But let me ask you this though, but with the older generation and the younger generation and how they view that word, like
mhm, yeah,
how do we address that? Or is because sometimes I'm an older guy, you know what I'm saying? I
right,
ain't under 50. I'm older. I'm over 50. I ain't even 50. I'm over 50. So I'm an
mhm,
older guy. So I grew up in an era where that word wasn't a word of endearment from an opposite race. You know what I'm saying? Maybe from my fellow brother, because it means like man, brother, whatever. However we want to apply it back then. So how do we look at that, and how should we take that when we see a younger Hispanic or a younger white boy who want to call us
mhm,
the N word?
right. Well, that it depending on if they're taught, because a lot of them, depending on what they're talking about, right? Depending on what they're talking, if they like, oh, you my, you my end. You are. That's who you are, right? Okay. Because I've had them like say, you my bae. I'm like, you my butt? What? Wait a minute. Who am I? And then I have to think, okay, that's their culture. That's the culture, going back like Cardi B say, culture. That's what they doing. Cause yeah, you my B. That's you my B. Ah, yeah, you my B. I'm like, what? How am I and thinking I'm really thinking like, well, we gotta we fighting or what are we gonna do with this? Cause I'm getting pissed. But then I have to pull myself back, like, oh, okay, that's what y'all doing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then maybe from my body language or possibly just my face, because I know I'm like, wait a minute, because I have came across people like that. You that B, wait a minute, who is that? What is how you calling me you don't even know me to call me, because that's how we take those words.
Right.
Or like I said, that young dude and the young man and the other young man. Hey, come on, my nigga, come on, my name, we doing it, my. And of course, like I said, the ladies that was with me, because we all in that age group, they like, he using that word. I said, no, he with his friends. So that's their lingo. You don't see them getting upset. Ain't nobody like, what? Because that's how we treated it. But for them, it's not. Now, am I saying it's cool? It to me it is not cool, but to them that's the standard they got on it, and it ain't nothing to them as long as like let's roll, and they both call each other the same thing. Like you say, the Hispanics do the same thing. That's my you like, wait a minute, how y'all all. So now with the new laws being passed, how we okay, that's a good one. Whoever asked that, basically, and Aaron even said something that made me think about it. Special needs. You're gonna have to be getting your own child taken care of. Special needs will no longer be a state or government situation. Education. They want to go to a private system where they give private schools the money. So now your child will possibly, if they are successful at wiping out public education, free education, you're going to be filling out applications, and your child is going to be interviewing. And there go that word merit. By the merit of yourself and your child, they're going to determine if they want you in there or not. So
And, no,
go.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
So you're gonna be looking at educating your own child. You're gonna be looking at
Right, right, right.
and
See,
advocating.
see, she's
Yeah,
exactly correct. You got to definitely take all those steps and do all those things, and just to simplify that, and put it more in street terms. And it's about preserving your own legacy. So you have
right,
to educate your own kids. You know what I'm saying? You have to just, and that means you got to talk to your own kids. You have to spend time with your own kids. You know what I'm saying? And just share things, pass things down. You know what I'm saying? Things that your parents and grandparents taught you
right,
and
right,
passed down to you. You have to, soon, pass it down on your kids and things like that. Like the Tuskegee, air fire. I mean, air flyer man. You know what I'm saying? Those flyers and stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? You have to educate the people. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Rosa Parks. MLK. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
all
You have to educate. You know what
right,
I'm saying?
right. It's gonna be your responsibility. I've heard them say, "Well, Black Heritage has been canceled." Well, the truth is, your heritage is all year long. Your culture is all year long. So can't anybody cancel your culture? Now that's not doable. So now you're responsible for taking that information on because it's like he said, the Tuskegee Airmen. Well, what happened is, they don't talk about it, but they were the first ones, the people in the fight with Hitler during World War II. The Jewish people scene when he let that when they were the ones that went in and opened up the doors for those people when they were in those concentration camps. And those women, I was listening to the testimonies of those women, and they said those black men looked like angels to them. And they thought because they had starved, they thought they had died. And so they thought they were looking at angels coming to pick them up while they were locked up in those confounds without no windows, and they were being starved to death and sick. But the Tuskegee Airmen were the first ones there to open it up. And so we don't talk about that. We don't tell those stories. Those are some bad boys.
And
And
they no longer they are no longer allowed to teach that
right.
when the youngsters join, you know what I'm saying, the Air Force.
Right, right. But you know what, Aaron? I never was taught it. I actually seen a documentary with those ladies on there, and they said the black men, they were huge, and they opened that door with that light, and we had thought we actually died. That's what those Jewish ladies were saying, and they were, telling their story, and it really, I was like, wow. Though, and then later on, like say I say 10 years, 12 years later, they came with the movie, right? But they were saying that in their testimonies because that's part of their testimony. And by the way, today is a celebration of the Holocaust.
Is that a good movie? I see it on Netflix. It's right there, and I haven't took the time out to watch it yet. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Because I know it's kind of long and stuff, but
yeah,
I need to watch it. It's a pretty good movie.
yeah, it is. It is. All
Yeah,
of
I really need to watch it.
all of them. We really have parts of history that were wiped out, you know, that there's been a lot of movies, and like you say, we've never been taught it. We
Right, right,
never
right.
been taught it, and because it wasn't in our history books, like Black Wall Street. I
And one thing I recommend all parents out there: teach your kids stuff. Just talk to your kids. Tell your kid things because the kid may not take heed to it right now, but if they hear you, it's in their system, okay, and it
Yeah,
will come out at the right times and in their life and stuff right there.
yeah,
But if
yeah,
they never heard anything, they was never taught anything, or if anything was never poured into them as a little bitty kid, as they get older in life and start navigating, it can't even come out because you never put nothing in them, right? So
right.
just talk to your kids, no matter how old they are, how young they are. Just talk to them, pour information into them, please,
I like
and
that.
that's their legacy.
Right, right. That is your legacy. Your children, when I used to do groups, that's what I used to tell them because people get caught up like, oh, I got to have a foundation or I got to have this. But no, your children are actually your legacy because
Right.
guess what? One day they going to be telling, oh, this what my great great grandmother or my great great grandfather did. They're gonna be telling those stories. Oh, this is what my granddad said. This is what his dad taught him. So you want to set that tone, uh, and to be honest, people used to like, how you know that? My because I was raised by my grandparents. So our granddaddy used to talk to us all the time, and he used to say how his mother was from Guinea Fowl, West Africa, and how she was short and how she had short hair like my sister Tish. That he used to love my sister. Well, he said she resembled his mom. That's what Papa used to say. So all of that in my head all of my life because that's what he taught me. And I remember he had Black I Am by I think it's Langston Hughes. I used to have that book when I was a little kid. And we didn't know how valuable that was because I didn't until I got older. And I'm like, oh, he was putting us on in. And you remember how you used to have a sit down and write all the time?
All the time.
Right. So he was putting us on. Well, as kids, we didn't know, But there's so many things that he, in his demeanor and things that he did, even around the house, like his gardening and just things he did made him like, okay, and that and talking, I think, made him really a neat person to be, around. And he taught me a whole lot, to be honest.
And you always been selfless and shared everything with me, so that's been a blessing.
Yeah. Well, I think that's something they taught us, right? I don't remember a time after you was born not being with you.
Right. No,
Yeah, because even,
for sure.
being allowed to go get you. I used to be allowed to go get you. So, and that was when, what, 1, 2. Well, I think, yeah, four on up. We've been rocking. It says, what advice would you give the young adults, to be cautious of in 225? Cautious of what you do. You've never heard this, but I'm gonna say be cautious where you go, what you do. And that's black women, black men, Hispanic women, all people of color. Because guess what? We just had a young lady missing in Duncanville, Texas, 25 years old, 2 weeks ago. They say also the amount of people that are missing in America, the young adults, young black adults in their fight, is almost 500,000 people too. And I think that's a year. So we have to start governing ourselves according. Start getting accountability pieces. People who know where you go. And
Also, is that's right, Bob. Also, is something else to be cautious of. It's how you treat people,
that's
no
right.
matter what color that person is. Okay, it's a more dangerous and crazy world out here and things like that. So we always want to be cautious of how we treat people. We always want to be kind and be nice, and think to de-escalate. Okay, so definitely be cautious of how we treat people. Just moving forward in 2025. Let's be
Right,
nice.
right, 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 right. And so, and adding on to that, I'm gonna tell you what I told my children. That's way before this. I raised 4 boys, and what I used to tell my boys, especially when it was time for them to drive, you don't drive deep, meaning you don't put a lot of people in your vehicle and ride around, because that's the instant issue. Secondly, because that's gonna make you targeted, you and everybody in that vehicle. Secondly, when you get pulled over, put those keys to the side, just drop them. Do what that officer say to do. Come out your vehicle. If they say come out your vehicle and have a seat. Why say have a seat on the ground? Because they can't tackle you. They can't wrestle you. They can't say, oh, he overpowered me. None of that. Because you're already safe. Because we just lose too many of our children like that. And so, to be honest, it's just not a new one. That's real. And our whole game is to stay safe. Stay safe in 2025. Stay safe. How about you, Avery?
Well, just to piggyback what you were saying a little bit, as far as when you interact with those officers, out there when you get pulled over, I think when we are being pulled over, I think we should think like, what's the quickest way for me to get out this situation, right?
Right.
So the quickest way, just be respectful to the officer. If that make any sense. You know what I'm saying? Get your license, have your license out, your registration, things like that. And, give it to the guy.
Yeah.
Just give it. If you have it, give it to the guy, because at that point it's not a big deal. Now, if you don't have
Right.
it, that means you're probably wrong in the beginning. However, if you do have it, just give it to the officer and try
Right.
to get out that situation as quick as possible. Because the
Yeah.
quicker you get out that situation, your life is safe.
Right. Right.
If you go back and forth with the officer, don't want to evade questions. I mean, if you're in the right, you're in the right. Answer, you don't got to answer all type of questions like, what I'm saying, what you've been doing all day since breakfast time.
Mhm.
But you're going to need your driver's license out, sir. You're going to need your insurance, possibly
Right.
your registration. Have
Right.
those out and just give it to the officer.
Right. Right.
That's it. Just think to get out that situation as fast as possible.
Right. Now, I want to say thank you all for joining me, joining us tonight. Thank you, Eric, for joining me tonight. I really enjoyed the conversation. I want to say peace and love, and I look forward to seeing you in 2 more weeks.
Thank you, guys.
There's a sparkle in your eyes.